Welcome to Midlife Magic. So, we created the summit for the person who is feeling the call to something more. So, maybe you've already built a successful career, raised a family, really hit all the milestones that you were supposed to hit. And deep down, you're feeling like you're just called to something new, or there's something you haven't brought to life yet. And what we really feel is this season of life isn't about winding down. It truly is about you becoming all of who you are intended to be and creating a life that really truly lights you up. So, my name is Lisa Limata, and I definitely know this path intimately. I did leave a very successful, like a seven-figure revenue generating business in my 40s to start all over again. And I totally understand what it's like to leave something good to pursue what's in your soul. But that was 10 years ago. And today I lead Rise Leadership Circle along with my daughter, Kayla. And we're here to help entrepreneurs live a life that they absolutely love and then have an incredible business that comes along for the ride. So, today I am bringing you an expert who I am so excited to introduce you to. Her name is Christina Fletcher. And she is going to be sharing with us a bit about okay, so let me back up and just and read you because I don't want to mess this up. So Christina helps overstimulated women who feel scattered and overwhelmed calm their nervous system and reconnect to their heart so they can feel safe, spiritually connected, and guided by their own innate wisdom. So Christina, I'm so excited for this conversation. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. The introduction about that call for more, that is something so dear to my heart. So it is such a joy to be here. Thank you so much. This is brilliant. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
So many of our listeners are navigating major life transitions right now. This might look like a
Mhm.
new chapter, maybe career changes, personal transformation. And when everything starts to like feel overwhelming or uncertain, why would you say regulating the nervous system is such an important first step?
Ooh, I love that question. We're jumping straight in. Okay.
Going for it.
Jumping straight in. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Regulating the nervous system is something, it's kind of a buzz term right now. Everyone's kind of talking about it, but it's really important to know exactly what's going on. You know, your brain has been programmed ever since you were a young age. Our subconscious brains and our neural pathways start taking shape by the age of 7 to about 9 years old, that kind of window, where your brain is being kind of carving out these pathways. So I always say, it's kind of like a cornfield that you have these pathways that have been walked over and over again. And then all of a sudden, you feel called to something more. You feel some called to change. You feel called to something different. You want to create a new path in that cornfield. And the first thing your brain does is tells you that's a really, really bad idea. That's so scary that we don't know what that is. And when that happens, your nervous system flares up and your survival instinct kicks in. You fall into flight, fight, or freeze. And it means that you can't actually see clearly. You can't actually function. And the first thing you're going to do is go back to the safe route in your life, which means you dim yourself. You call yourself back into the old version of you. And so the idea is that if you acknowledge your nervous system and I mean, it's not just neural pathways that are going to be like triggering your nervous system. Right now, we live in a very triggered time. Everyone's nervous system's triggered at some point in time lately, especially. But becoming aware of your nervous system means that you actually can acknowledge, oh, well, of course, my brain is going to be triggered at the idea of a change. Pursuing that something more is actually a really scary thing according to all those brain patterns. Like, what do you mean you want to throw everything out that you've worked for? What do you mean this is safe? This is steady. We understand this. We don't want to do that. So, of course, that's going to flare that up. By regulating your nervous system, you're going to be telling your entire system, we're safe. It's okay. We're steady. We can take this step by step. Don't worry, which means that then the energy falls. You don't feel that massive flare up. You shift from fight and flight. You shift from survival. You widen your perception. One of the things that I found fascinating when I was learning about the nervous system was that actually, when you are in a triggered state, you actually get tunnel visioned. You have no peripheral vision. So it means you lose out on access to like solutions and opportunities that can flow your way. So you have to regulate in order to actually see the opportunities around you. So
So good.
it's such a juicy topic, and it's so funny because I mean, like maybe it's just my algorithm, but I know my Instagram is full of neurosystem regulation. It's what a lot of people are talking about, but we often forget to talk about why, like that fight or flight, it just cripples us. And while
Absolutely.
there's lots of things that you can feel fearful about, none of them are happening to you right now. And that is what your brain is telling you. That is what your body is responding to. It's in your now. So it's about regulating yourself in the now and know that all your dreams are possible, knowing that you're open to feeling it's all safe, it's all steady, and you're allowed to feel the lushness and juiciness of that. Yeah.
So good. So, Christina, a lot of women in midlife describe feeling this sense of being like pulled in a million places, right? There's a sense of feeling kind of scattered, or, maybe they're in busy mode trying to figure it out. When someone gets like trapped in a stress cycle where there's, it kind of feels like you're on that hamster wheel, what's a simple first step they could take to find that inner calm?
Which one do I pick? There's so many. Um, one of the one of my favorite things to do, actually, and it's easy to remember because I actually just call it the octopus. So I call it the octopus. It's just such a strong image. You imagine all of your things that are pulling you in all directions surrounding you. And you imagine an octopus as you are an octopus with your tentacles holding on to all of these things. And I usually encourage my clients, it's like name them, call them out. Like, what is it? It's like, oh, my family, my job, I've got this money stress, or I've got, oh, this thing over here. And what about cleaning the house? Like all of the different things stretching you out. So name them, call them out. So you're the octopus with stretched out tentacles. But then you remember that when you look at an octopus, you don't actually see it as its tentacles, you actually see its core center. So you shift your attention from all of your tentacles and instead you draw in your focus to your own inner center. Because it's all about bringing your attention and awareness back to your heart and back to your core being. So from your heart center, you just allow those. Sometimes I'll tell people, have the tentacles out and, just draw them in. I have had people start to be like, oh my God, I'm going to drop all my balls. It's like, okay, now just shift your attention. Don't worry. Shift your attention back to center. Call yourself to your heart and just draw your attention almost like you can see yourself through your heart. You can feel your heart rising up to your hand and actually just be there. And immediately you're going to your whole perception will just shift from the overwhelm into the center. It's one of my favorite.
Mm. That's beautiful. That's such a beautiful visual too. Like I'm a visual person, so it was like first it was the cornfield, now it's like the octopus, and I'm like really tracking with you. I'm like, yes, I can see it and I feel it, and it's a way that I feel I'll remember, and I'm sure our listeners will remember this conversation too, right? There's some powerful visuals, so it's like you want to
I
feel
love
yourself
visuals.
coming back to center, which
Yeah.
is where it's where it's always at, right? It's not out there. It's
It's
always back
Yeah,
here.
exactly. And I find that we live in a really fast-paced world, and there's so many beautiful traditions and concepts around mindfulness and around meditation, and we crave for those and we want to bring those into our lives. But the truth is that we have evolved and we do live in a different world now, and it's fast. So we need those images, those things to just grab hold of so that then we can pull them out quickly. Like meditation can be done in the moment. You don't need to set out these long periods of time. It's about connecting to yourself. It's about making sure that you are, I call it plugging in, plugging in to yourself so you have access to that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So when someone is standing at a crossroads in life and they're trying to figure out that what's next piece, right? And the mind just gets noisy and it gets full of doubt. I'm curious, like, how could reconnecting to the heart and the soul in this way, how could this help someone find more clear answers or a sense of direction?
Good question. Yeah. Well, I mean, your heart, even if your heart is your emotional center. So it's almost like the voice box to your soul, right? And if you do things like if you research things like Heart Math Institute or different places, they'll talk about how the heart is actually from an energetic perception, the electromagnetic field of the heart is actually like 5 times stronger than that of the head. And more messages go from your heart up to your head than your head down to your heart. So your heart is gathering all this information all the time. So when you're faced at crossroads, the best thing to do is to actually lean into the simple question of what feels lighter? What feels lighter than what feels heavier? Because your heavy logical side will often be this kind of like very strategic, very steady, but it feels heavy and constructed. Whereas your heart will lift. You want to live your path of like the thing that really lights you up, the thing that gets you excited, that juicy path. And that juicy path will always be like that. I want to do that. And it's really important to actually start attuning yourself to that, just that question. It's like, okay, what feels lighter? What feels heavier? And start to notice the nuances, even in your body. Some people feel it more in their body, and some people actually just feel a lift in their heart, as if their heart's just like lighting up of like, yeah, that one, that one, that one. And so play with it. Like literally start I find that it's important to tell our hearts, yeah, we're ready to listen now. I'm ready. So, you can be like, which way should we take to the grocery store today? Like, which route should we take? And then you kind of just go, come on, like, play with me, like, get playful and allow it to be like lighter. You can ask it all kinds of, which email should I respond to first? And allow your heart to have influence in that. It's like, ooh, that one feels lighter. Ooh, this one that feels actually rather constricted. Another way
Mhm.
of looking at it is actually like which one feels expansive and which one feels constrictive. You're going to find that your body starts rising to that and your heart will rise to it very quickly. Follow what lights you up. There's no point in doing anything else. Just follow what lights you up. It's your
Could
unique
not
path.
agree more. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
say it all the time, right? And I love the what you just brought forward about practicing in the little things. Which
Mhm.
route should I take to the grocery store? Which email should I respond to? Like, what a fun way to just practice and playfully tap into your heart because it's guiding you all day, right? So why not tap in
Yeah, exactly.
little things as well as the big things?
Exactly. And what you're doing is you're literally, again, the cornfield, right? Every single time you create just that little nudge. What should I wear today? Ooh, that feels lighter. That feels like more fun. Like the more you do that, the more you are telling your brain, look how safe this is. There's nothing scary here. We are actually giving power to our hearts, and that's okay. That cornfield is going to get that path, and that cornfield is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger just by default. And the joyful thing about that is that, your old cornfield path isn't going to stay the strongest forever. Any person who's walked through a cornfield will know the old path gets grown over the more the new one's walked, right? So that's what you're creating is you're creating a new neural pathway of, yeah, the safest option is to listen to my heart and to actually follow what feels lighter. You're creating something new. And that you're going to find that more just gets more and more and more because you're going to feel safe
Mhm.
to do so.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So,
exciting.
a lot of people have spent years focused on everyone else, right? Which can also make it hard to listen to the heart. But so often, we get to this place where we've been focusing on family or work or our responsibilities. And that's a way I think that we get really disconnected from this deeper part of ourselves, right? So, what do you wish that more people understood about connecting back to their own soul wisdom? And even especially in midlife, what do you wish they knew?
Hmm. All right. Something that I usually work on with my clients is the concept of autonomy, that every single person has their own autonomy, including you, and that your job, quote unquote, in this life, the reason why you came to this earth is to live as you. And so, therefore, it's not just oh yeah, well, it's midlife. It's a nice thing to do to actually live your own bliss. That's actually the contract you came for. That's what you actually came to fulfill is to live as the best version of you. And that's actually how you can support people in your life the most. Because by claiming your own autonomy, you're actually claiming yourself. And then you give permission to everyone in your life to do that for themselves. I know for myself, like I have three kids. Two, my daughters are in their 20s, my son's 15, and all of a sudden, it was a couple of years ago that all of a sudden this concept of autonomy really settled within me. And all of a sudden I went, okay, you know what? Like you guys all know like the basics of being yourself now. I'm here to love and support you always, but everyone now has their own autonomy. And I fired myself from any concept of roles that I needed to keep so that I could be true to myself entirely. I'd already been doing that for a
Mhm.
while, but still, it was giving them the autonomy of like, go be yourself, shine bright. I know that you've got this within you. And the chasing stopped, and it meant that everyone had their own energy. And
Yeah.
that to me is such a claiming your own autonomy and really knowing that your job is to be true to yourself. And that is the most fulfilling more that you can ever do is when you're actually fulfilling the purpose of being yourself. It kind of
Yeah.
transforms your life every day.
Wow. Yes, that is so, so powerful. I am curious too, like, what was that experience like for your kids? Like when you really went in and claimed your autonomy, what did you notice anything different reflected back to you with your family?
Um, Other than the initial, what? No, but crying a
Yeah.
little bit.
Or, what is she doing?
Um, no, I think okay, to be totally honest, it's really interesting because I was raised with this kind of thing of, oh, like this lack of trust that everyone that as I got older in my 20s, I was bound to make mistakes. And I think because I'd had that, giving them their autonomy, I saw this almost sense of they took the responsibility of themselves. So we've always had a good relationship. Like my kids and I, we've homeschooled and it's always been this strong relationship. But I think telling them basically, I trust you. I know that you're going to do what's best for yourself. And I know that you'll make mistakes and things, but I also know that you'll get out the other side of that. I trust you. I'm here to love you and support you, but autonomy all around.
Mhm.
There was a sense of
Yeah.
relief for them, I would say. I would say they breathed a little bit
Yeah, it
because they
feels like
didn't
they
feel
have
pressured.
permission to be themselves, right? It's like, okay, we all have permission to just be who we are. There's no pressure to try to perform or,
Yes, or get
check a
approval.
box. I think
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
powerful.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
it shocked me when I was talking to them because at one point they even said, like they would still want the approval, and I was like, mm-mm, sorry, you don't need my approval. You need
Mhm.
your own approval and your own
Mhm.
heart connection approval. That's what you need. But what do I have to do with this? Like
Yeah.
I'm cheering you on. I'm here to give you a hug if something happens, if ever you need it. That's what I'm here for. But I see you and I respect you and I trust you and go for it and
Yeah.
live. So yeah, it's set all of us free.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. I love that so much.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up today, Christina, you have a beautiful free gift for our listeners so they can deepen this work and they can experience even more inner peace. So can you tell us a little bit about it? And then I know they can find it. They can just click below to grab that free gift from you. But tell us a little bit about what they get.
Absolutely. So it's my new offering actually that I'm sharing with you. It's a simple bundle. There's three little pieces to it. And the intention of it is for you to declutter your mind, de-stress, and clear out all of the energy clutter that you've gathered up through the day so you can sleep well. Because what I have found with sleep, especially as we head into midlife, is there's a lot of you find that all your energy that builds up as you kind of step into the more, it will feel like you're kind of your head is super, super active. It feels like you're always racing. It feels like your energy is still like downstairs in the kitchen or all over the place. So what the practice does is there's a simple video routine, which you actually can just it's about 5 minutes of just kind of decluttering and re-energizing your body so that your energy is flowing steadily and in alignment and grounded and you feel present within yourself. Then there's a beautiful meditation as well as an energy healing that you can put on while you go to sleep. And then there's a simple guide as well that kind of talks about how energy actually does affect your sleep and different things that you can do to clear out the energetic space of your house so that then you feel less cluttered and less kind of activated, which is so often how we go to bed.
Christina, thank you. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom. and your free gift. I know so many listeners are going to feel so much calmer and probably really resonate a lot with this conversation today. So
Thank
I
you
really
so much.
appreciate you.
I
Yes,
appreciate too.
absolutely.
What a wonderful summit, and thank you so much for having me. Thanks.
Thank you. Before we click off today, I just want to give a little reminder to our listeners as well that if you're ready to take the next step in bringing your dreams to life, Kayla and I would love to invite you to our upcoming Take Flight Challenge. It's a 3-day challenge. It's happening June 16th through the 19th, and it is designed to help you take these ideas that have been on your heart and actually bring them out into the world to, use your soul, your strategy, having that support around you to really go ahead and take flight on this next evolution of you. So you can grab that link below as well as Christina's gift. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and we will see you next time.